Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight for our special presentation of the Angel Award, presented by the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation and the Louisiana Public Broadcasting. I'm Dan Bornay. I'm the chair of the Foundation's Board of Directors, and I will be your host tonight as we celebrate the work of 9 extraordinary individuals who are being honored for their commitment to improving the lives of Louisiana's children. Normally, we would host our honorees, their families, supporters, and past winners at a gala celebration. As it has for so many other things, COVID-19 changed our plans. Tonight, our angels are watching at home with you to celebrate these stories of hope, resiliency, and love, even in times as uncertain as these. So what is the Angel Award? Across Louisiana, there are many children without access to everything they need to thrive. Healthy food, loving homes, mentorship, creative play, and educational opportunity. Thankfully, there are also thousands of everyday people working to make a difference in the lives of children. The Angel Award, now in its 26th year, celebrates the compassion and perseverance of those who have made profound differences in the lives of Louisiana's kids.
In the last 25 years, we've highlighted more than 200 amazing individuals with the Angel Award. They're an incredibly diverse bunch, from educators to mentors, but the one thing they all share in common is that they're going above and beyond in support of Louisiana's kids.
Indeed, the Angel Award has recognized individuals in healthcare, education, the arts, and much more. And because we know that moving their work for children forward takes time and money, each award comes with a $25,000 grant made to the honorees' nonprofit of choice. Over the years, the award has helped shine the light on hundreds of important organizations. Many of them have seen significant growth following the recognition.
So Fring Our Bikes is a youth workforce development program teaching kids 6 years old to 18 bike mechanics, gardening, welding, and cooking classes. And through the Angel Award, we've been able to expand that to new areas in the parts of Baton Rouge and be able to incorporate a lot more amazing kids. But to get the recognition from an organization like Blue Cross Blue Shield and be able to be honored in that way, it just kind of builds your spirit to say, I'm doing what I'm called to do. This is the right thing for me, and it's going to help me to, make a difference for the rest of my life.
Organizations that are recipients of the Angel Award are energized, they're legitimized, and they do more for their community. And it also gives you recognition in the community about the fact that what you are doing is important and that the people that you're doing it for matter.
Each year, the Blue Cross Foundation invests $3.5 million in Louisiana nonprofits through programs including the Angel Award. We invest in these champions for children because we truly believe that when everyday people make a commitment to change by taking on the challenge in front of them, it makes a world of difference for our state. And now, let's meet our 2020 Angel Award honorees. Our first honoree is a young woman who, as a teacher, saw how difficult it can be for children coming from tough backgrounds to succeed at school. She turned tragedy into opportunity for kids and is the founder of Thrive Academy, which has achieved incredible success for its students in just a short amount of time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sarah Broome of Baton Rouge.
My name is Sarah Broome, and I'm the founder and executive director of Thrive Academy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thrive Academy is a statewide boarding school for the most at-risk kids in the state of Louisiana. We take students in grades 7 through 12, boys and girls, that for whatever reason, home might not be the best environment for them to learn in. During that time, they go to class, they have after-school lessons in cooking, they learn household responsibilities, everybody has chores, but they all live here on campus with us 5 days a week.
What makes us special is that we worked really, really hard to build a community between the residential and the school setting. So what that does, it fosters that kind of environment where the school and home are on the same page pretty much 100% of the time. I think that's so important for our kids.
I started teaching in 2008, and in my second year of teaching, a student at my school was killed in a fatal stabbing during a neighborhood fight. She was trying to protect her younger sister. When the girls came back to class a few weeks later, after their sister's funeral, they sat in math class every day, and I couldn't think anything other than math is just not the most important thing for you right now. I started thinking about what would be a great situation for them, what would be the most helpful thing for them. And I kept coming back to this idea of a residential model, because all of the things I wanted to give them, a safe place to live, a safe place to sleep, access to a bathroom, good meals, just the feeling of security, all of that really needed a residential setting to be accomplished.
I see whenever as a teacher we pour into the kids Monday through Friday and we have them and they're good, and then they go home and they're going home sometimes to environments that aren't conducive to what they need to thrive. So just the whole idea of they're here, but then they leave here and go into a place that is going to support and reinforce what we're giving them in the classroom.
We started with just 20 kids in 2012 at the old School for the Blind and the Deaf campus on Government Street. In 2016, we completed construction on a dormitory and moved here with 100 kids. And then last year, in 2019, we finished construction on our academic center and now have 180 kids on campus. Our model really focuses on mental health, and we provide a lot of support for students that need that help.
The family life that we build here has been very good for kids to just overcome small obstacles that help them to make good decisions.
Every kid comes to us with their own individual issue, and those didn't form overnight, and so they're not going to be solved overnight. As time progresses, you really see this kid get to handle and deal with those issues and get to a really good place within themselves, which then lets them flourish. And then they become the version of themselves that they always had the potential to be. They just needed the support to get there.
I have seen several of our students, too many to name, who have come in angry with the world, and they leave better people, brighter representations of what we would like this world to become. And they are becoming that right before our eyes. They come in sometimes very frustrated with failure, not having been able to thrive in other settings, and then they come here and they thrive. Now, it takes work. It takes loving them through their unlovable moments. But at the end of it all, when we can see them graduate and then go off to college, it is amazing to see that, because it gives them promise, it gives them options for a greater future, which they may not have had they not come here.
What we're seeing with our graduation rate is that we are helping students to navigate the barriers, the obstacles that they would normally find at another school, and so they'll be more successful with us in life. This year with our graduating class, we've had over an 80% graduation rate. What that means is that over 80% of the students who started with us in 9th grade graduated. Of those students who graduated, over half of them went to college, a 4-year university. The remainder went to either the workforce or the military.
This is not an easy decision for a parent. When to send your 7th grade child away to a boarding school, that's something you do out of love. But it's a big sacrifice for a parent, and it's a really hard decision to make. And so we're very fortunate that so many of our parents really trust us with their kids, not just their education, but their safety.
I absolutely love Sarah Broome. She saw a problem and she created a solution, but not just created it, she followed through with it.
She's okay with releasing us to do what we're best at so that we can create an environment that is safe and conducive for learning for our students.
She gives Thrive 100% of her time. And I honestly don't know if I could make that same decision. She has literally opened up her checkbook and written checks and did whatever she needed to do to say, hey, the staff is going to get paid.
I feel wonderful about the work we've done, but I also know there's so much more left to do. And I have never once stopped trying to do better and do more, and I don't think I ever will.
Sarah exemplifies the drive to succeed that makes all of our angels stand apart. We're deeply proud of how much she has achieved. If you have middle school children, chances are good that you've heard of STEM NOLA's Saturday programs that teach children science, technology, engineering, and mathematics through exploration and play. The creator of the STEM NOLA movement is Dr. Calvin Mackey, our next angel. This is his story.
My name is Dr. Calvin Mackey. I'm the president and founder of STEM NOLA. STEM NOLA is an organization founded to expose and inspire and engage communities in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We engage K-12 kids by inviting them out to community-based events where they engage in all type of activities, whether it's making boats and learning about buoyancy and density, or whether it's the physics of sound and learning about how instruments make sound, or we even have a heart day where they engage with doctors and dissect sheep hearts and then make mechanical hearts. The whole goal is to get the kids engaged in the world around them in STEM. I have 4 STEM degrees. I have a BS in mathematics from Morehouse, a BS, MS, and PhD in engineering from Georgia Tech, but I have 2 beautiful sons. And one day my son told me that he was not interested in STEM anymore because his teacher was only talking to the board. My son and I began to do experiments in the garage, and before you know it, 20 kids in the neighborhood were showing up in the garage. And I realized right then and there was a thirst in the community, in our children, to participate in these type of STEM activities.
Every kid has questions. How do those power lines work? Well, what is that dam? What is that levee? Every kid has those questions, but they never have a place to really ask the question and get it answered and then engage with it and then own it afterwards. And that's what STEM NOLA's created.
The most important factor about what we do is the why factor. Kids come out and they'll work on a kit, they'll build a car and watch that car run. And then they ask, why? Why is my car slower? Why my car is not doing like this? And that's the critical thinking that will be the basis of the skills that our kids need in any career that they go into in the future. By participating in these events, they learn how to work with people, and they get the skill of collaboration. And then by building stuff, they realize they can start off with an idea and create something with their hands. And that gives them the whole idea that, hey, I can make something and be a part of the future, regardless of the career that they may decide.
Not only are the K-12 students being served in terms of the didactic, the learning, the hands-on, also the inspiration, but the college students and the STEM professionals and the community volunteers such as myself are impacted as well. The college students are coming and working hands-on with the younger students. So the younger students see the college students and envision themselves. The college students, by turn, are working side by side with professionals, MDs, engineers from NASA, from Chevron, and so they then are able to envision a career in STEM.
I started at STEM NOLA as a student, elementary school, and I would go to the STEM Saturdays and we would build different models and do different experiments, and we would learn about a lot of different STEM subjects. And that made me want to pursue a career in the STEM field.
We're able to see the impact on the community and also on ourselves. And being able to see this gives people like me the inspiration to become more active, not to give up. Dr. Mackey cares for every child who comes through that door on STEM Saturday as if it were his own child.
I believe that every last one of us has some type of genius in us that need to be mined and brought out. And a lot of people that gravitate to the arts, sometimes they don't realize that they have the scientific skill within them because they were never exposed. A lot of times what we gravitate to is exactly what we was exposed to. So a lot of kids who look like me gravitate to sports because that's what's given to them. But my goal is, can we expose 1 million kids to STEM every Saturday such that more people who look like me would believe that they could be scientists and doctors and engineers rather than just basketball players.
This is fully something that he believes in. He's passionate about it. He leads by example on every level. He's not above picking up the trash and cleaning up or helping to set up or running a table if necessary. Whatever it takes to push the mission, he does with all his heart and who he is, and that's a great thing.
If there was one particular time that stands out in my mind and let me know that, hey, we're making an impact. At the end of one of our events, a mother came up to me and she became so emotional. She was shaking, crying, and she grabbed me. And she said, I knew it wasn't him. I knew it wasn't him. She said, everywhere I've taken my son, they said he couldn't learn. And how can he show up here and do this for 3.5 hours with no problem? And right then and there, I realized that we was offering something that a lot of schools were not.
The impact is palpable from the looks on the parents' faces, from the looks from the people in the community, the people just saying thank you. And the fact that this started in his garage with his family and his kids, something as simple as investing in your child can evolve into something that is changing the world is absolutely amazing. It has to be beyond anyone's imagination. It's truly living a dream.
More than 60,000 children have participated in STEM NOLA, and it is a nationally recognized organization. Dr. Mackey has had a deep impact on those children's understanding of the world, and we are proud to count him among our angels. Our next angel defines the word commitment through his exceptional volunteerism. At 98 years young, he is officially the oldest person to receive the award. This is Ben Bowie of Lafayette.
My name is Ben Bowie. I'm a volunteer at the Children's Museum of Acadiana.
The Children's Museum of Acadiana is a hands-on, interactive educational environment. Several exhibits in the museum are real-life, real-world experiences for our children where they do role play. Some of our exhibits are more geared towards the arts or science.
Children can pick up educational material here without realizing it while they're enjoying such things as using the adding machine in the grocery store, reading about dinosaurs, playing on the television and being the weatherman and seeing how it works.
We've been open for 24 years and we see about 44,000 families a year. Ben Bowie is a volunteer at the museum. He's served the Children's Museum for the last 13 years and he is a great inspiration.
Why do I volunteer? Because I need something to do. I need to keep active. I enjoy it. And just be sitting at home on the couch watching that idiot box. After my wife died, I was retired and it came up and I applied and it was accepted and I've loved it ever since. What I love about it is the children's exuberance. Adults don't seem to have that same joy of being alive, but children do. And it rubs off on me and it keeps me going. It helps me go anyway, slowly, but I go.
It's kind of hard to define him as a volunteer. That's his default position, is to be a contributor to something. It's just what you do. You help where you can, and he happens to like helping here because it gives him some personal fulfillment.
Sustaining a self-funded nonprofit, of course, is always a challenge. It's key for us to have volunteers in the community come in to fill in and just play a role at the museum. We've had families come back as families to volunteer because they were inspired by what Ben does.
Mr. Ben's work ethic is something that everyone should strive for because he does not stop. He always has energy to keep going over years and years and years of time. It's something that I personally strive to be when I'm older. I could keep going and working and connecting with my community like he does.
It's amazing to watch him, especially in the bubble pit areas where I see a lot of times. He'll walk up there and show a child how to use the wand, because you can hold it, just swing it around, but if you take it and you turn it sideways, you can make a bigger bubble. And the kids will actually just naturally gravitate to him. And you can tell he's just that grandfatherly or that figure that is not intimidating or scary. You want to be able to talk to him.
Giving the child advice is sometimes wrong. Asking them questions that lead them up to thinking is what I try to do. The best thing is when a small child, after seeing you play with them or helping something, comes up and gives you a hug. That makes the day for me.
He models the kind of behavior all humans should have. He just keeps his life going. He stays very active and does what makes the world around him better.
Our staff really respects Ben. He's such a good role model for them. He's always interacting with them. He's got a great memory, so he's always checking up on them, whether it be school or, a life issue. So he provides guidance and inspiration to our staff.
To make a difference in the life of a young person is a pretty big undertaking. The main thing is to tell them there's always tomorrow and things are not as bad as they look today. Don't panic. Take your time and keep smiling. Life is short. Enjoy it every day at a time.
Good Memories with Mr. Ben is our New Year's noon event, and we fill the whole museum with balls of confetti, and we count down to noon, and all the confetti drops,
And it's a mess. It's a fun mess. Mr. Ben comes every year, but he's always the first person to pick up a broom and help us start sweeping out the confetti, because he knows that it takes a long time and he's just there to always help no matter what.
If a person says they're going to volunteer, has the opportunity and time, and doesn't do it, they're missing a great part of their life, an enjoyable part.
Ben is a reminder to all of us that it ain't over till it's over, and that all of us, no matter where we are in life, can find fulfillment and joy in service at any age. Thank you, Ben. Dr. Mary Beth Lima of Baton Rouge has given thousands of hours in service to one of the most essential elements of a child's development: safe, engaging play. This is a story about how she's beat the odds in helping to build dozens of playgrounds around the state.
My name is Mary Beth Lima. I'm a professor at LSU and I direct the LSU Community Playground Project. We work with communities to bring playgrounds to those communities. Typically we work with public schools, and we work with the true experts at play, and those are the children. The children tell us their hopes and dreams for play, and me and my students work with the kids and the teachers to bring an awesome playground to that school that reflects the unique special features of that playground that we call the soul of the community. The LSU Community Playground Project did not start as a complete idea in my mind. I started as a brand new professor at LSU tasked with teaching a first-year design class, and I wanted to choose something that my students could design that they would know something about and that they would be interested in designing, and also that had a connection to biological engineering. Kids are biological beings. If you're designing a playground, you're trying to design an environment to help them meet their basic and higher needs. And so I hit on playgrounds as an idea that would engage all of my students and that they would know something about.
The initial response I had to engineering when I started was it was a small portion of mathematics and building sharks with laser beams, but after experiencing Dr. Lima's class and speaking with her, I understand that engineering is about helping people. You can do anything from activism to just listening or designing something that you believe that would benefit the people around you.
About 10 years ago, we were really super excited when Dr. Lima encouraged her students to come and become a part of our math program and our reading program. Everyone counts and everybody reads. Being a part and volunteering really speaks to what Dr. Lima is all about, getting to the soul of the community and understanding the background and the experiences of the children really aids in that matter. So prior to putting up a swing or slide or anything, they actually understand the children and where they're coming from.
My first collaboration was with Beechwood Elementary School in 1998. And it took about 2 years to go from the concept phase where we were working with the children and teachers at Beechwood to actually building the playground in the year 2000. Since that time, over the past 20 years, we have worked with numerous communities to design and build approximately 35 or 36 playgrounds. Those 35 to 36 playgrounds are mostly at public schools. They serve approximately 12,000 or so children every school day.
I really wanted to build a playground for the children. I had no idea. I thought it was buy a swing set, get a slide, put it out there, we're ready to go. But Mary Beth came along and she helped us to raise the money. She helped us by bringing her project committee in, helped us to plan it. She met with the children, they designed it, and we ended up 4 years later with this absolutely fabulous playground. She just held our hand and took us through it and wouldn't let us give up, even though it took so long to get it.
It breaks my heart when I hear principals talk about that they will have to cut out recess and things like that because they want kids on task and they want to prepare them for standardized testing, because we all know kids need a release from sitting in the classroom all day. So instead of just eliminating recess and things, Dr. Lima comes in with another alternative. Hey, You're not here by yourself. You don't have to do this by yourself. Let's keep recess and play, which is very important for kids, for their social well-being and emotional well-being. Let's keep that in, and I'm going to help you do that.
Play is essentially an educational activity. Physical development is important. Gross motor skill development is important. You can do all those things through play. But emotional development, cognitive development, social development, you learn how the world works on a playground. It's just an injustice, the fact that we live in the richest country in the world and that not all kids have access to play. It's something that keeps me up at night. Every kid should have access to a place to swing, slide, and climb, at minimum. It's a right, it's not a privilege.
Mary Beth is so passionate about what she's doing and what she's doing for others, and she puts in so much time for the children. She's an angel. What can I say?
Like all of our angels, Dr. Lima's work continues to proceed even in the face of many challenges. These play spaces will be used by generations of children for years to come. For those of you who are counting, we're about halfway through the program, and there's more to come. If you're feeling a little inspired and want to support our angels, we've created a special page featuring their stories and all the ways you can connect with them. It's all on our website at bcbslafoundation.org. Now let's meet the rest of our angels. Each year, the foundation also honors a Blue Angel, an employee of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana who has shown extraordinary commitment to children. This year, the foundation has selected David Longstreet of Baton Rouge, a volunteer with Bikers Against Child Abuse. BACA riders support children who have been victims of abuse by showing up as friends, mentors, and guardian angels. Their tough image gives courage to children facing dire circumstances.
My name is David Longstreet. I'm an employee of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, and I'm also a member of Bikers Against Child Abuse, or BACA. Bikers Against Child Abuse is an international united organization that works with abused children to help them not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For our abused children, we provide whatever they need to feel physically and emotionally secure. Whether it's showing up and doing what we say we're going to do, or if there's a physical threat and we show up and do 24/7 support for as long as they need. We've done that too. We do not condone the use of violence in any manner. However, we will protect our children. I remember being in court one time, and a BACA child got up on the stand. The child did not feel afraid because her friends were scarier than the perp.
Everybody that comes into BACA has an FBI background check. And once that background check is cleared, we'll put you through a minimum of 1 year training. Once you complete your training, you're allowed to become a patch member at that time. The most important training to me is the child communication. It teaches us how to communicate with these children that have been abused and gone through such horrible things. And it's a lot of picking out triggers and being able to read the child without the child saying something. When a child is abused, they revert back into what we call a nutshell. And our job is to come in and crack that shell and let them come out and be a kid again.
When the case has been reported to the authorities, the legal guardian reaches out to us, and from there we do a phone interview, then we do a in-person interview. We go to the house, we interview them, we start working with the kids, and if everything falls under our criteria and we can take the case, we will escort them to court, help with therapy, whatever we need to do to help those kids to grow and to gain their confidence and their strength again.
2 of our members are on call 24/7, 365 for those children. They can call us if they have night sweats, they wake up in terror, if they just want to talk, if they want to tell us about a good day or a bad day, we're available for that.
BACA has 6 chapters in Louisiana. As a chapter, we have no boundaries. We work wherever we're needed. Just a few weeks ago, we were in Texas to go visit some kids out there.
When we go there, we'll surround the child. So if the perp is there, they don't have to interact. They don't even have to look at them if they don't want to. I've been to court where the child has come in from out of town and been physically ill because they were so worried. And then the child was able to sit up on the stand and tell their story. that is a powerful message.
Children need to know that they have the support, that they have someone there to help guide them, to protect them. This gives them the ability to have a voice, to be an advocate. This is what BACA does for the children of our state.
So I came from a not fun childhood. And I had siblings. And of me and my siblings, I'm the only one that got away. I always felt guilty because I was the one that got away and left everybody else behind. So this is, for my peace of mind, it's a way to give back. It's also to help those kids break out of that.
I nominated David because his story and his organization resonated a lot with me. I have a very close friend who was abused by a family member when she was a child. I feel that if she would have had an organization such as BACA around to help her, they could have given her the strength and the courage to come forward sooner and named her abuser. And I feel that she could have had that peace and been able to start her healing process a lot sooner than she did.
Being available 24/7, 365 means we ride whenever, rain, shine, hurricane, doesn't matter. If we can get there, we will get there. But I couldn't do it as nearly as easily without the assistance of Blue Cross and my personal family as well. I have had instances where there was an emergency that came up and I had to drop what I was doing and I was able to do that. And that is amazing for an employer.
David's a great guy. Since he's joined this organization, he has done wonders working with these kids.
I'm proud of David. V8, he's a good man. He's a good soldier in the organization. Anybody deserves this. I think it's him.
Before I joined BACA, I was an introvert. I was not sociable. I had demons from the past that haunted me. Being able to work with these kids, amazingly enough, has not only helped the kids, it's helped me a tremendous amount. As most people that know me since I first got to Blue Cross till now will tell you, an amazing change for the better.
The foundation is making a $10,000 grant to BACA in David's name to continue this incredible work, bringing hope to so many children. Speaking as a board member of both the foundation and Blue Cross, David, we are so humbled and honored to work alongside you. Thank you for your excellence and for your heart. Our next angel has leveraged her own experiences within the criminal justice system as a pathway to supporting hundreds of currently and formerly incarcerated women and girls. This is Sarita Stein of New Orleans.
My name is Sarita Stein, and I am the founder and executive director of Operation Restoration. Operation Restoration is an organization that focuses on currently and formerly incarcerated women and girls. The organization's mission is to remove as many barriers as possible for women to be able to re-enter society successfully. Some of the barriers that women face when they are released from prison are barriers as it relates to housing, barriers as it relates to education, jobs. There are also barriers that people don't even know exist. When you are sentenced to prison, you have your sentence and you may have your restitution or your fine, but what you don't know at that particular time is all the other collateral consequences of being a formerly incarcerated person, what type of toll that takes on your life.
Operation Restoration supports currently and formerly incarcerated women and girls in Louisiana and nationally. When women are incarcerated, it impacts the entire family. So if someone's mother is incarcerated, their children are more likely to be displaced, to be put in foster care, to have negative health outcomes from those experiences. That's even more likely if the mother is incarcerated than if the father is incarcerated. So we try to help women and their children and their entire families to recover from that experience of incarceration.
At the age of 19, I was sentenced to 120 months in federal prison and 20 years in state prison and $1.9 million in restitution, all for the same crime. While I was incarcerated, I met some of the most amazing women, and I really feel like they have a hand in raising me because I went to prison at 19 and are responsible for part of the woman that I am today. The reason why Operation Restoration was started is because when I was released, I didn't have that support system. I didn't have anyone to walk me through anything. There weren't really services that were available to women who were being released from prison, and I remembered all of the women that I left behind. So a lot of the work that we started working and doing here at Operation Restoration was born out of not just necessity and not forgetting the women that we left behind, but also wanting to be what I wish that I had upon release.
We have 16 different programs at Operation Restoration. When clients come to us, a lot of the times they're experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity, and they are able to meet with a case manager pretty much immediately and go through an intake process to figure out exactly what their needs are. We are able to meet those needs as broadly defined as possible. So sometimes people need an ID, sometimes they need housing, sometimes they need a meal or groceries for their family or cleaning supplies, which has been really important right now. We really try to holistically meet those needs for the entire family the best that we can.
Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, we had 60 women who came in over a 3-month period that were looking for housing specifically. All of them were homeless and all of them were mothers. We have 40 women who are currently enrolled in our college and prison program in partnership with Tulane University inside of Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women. We have 10 women who are enrolled in our high set class who come in weekly to receive services around getting their high school equivalency. Operation Restoration also has a closet. The closet was really, really important so women could have a place to go where they didn't feel ashamed or judged to get all of their needs.
The majority of our staff and contractors are formerly incarcerated women, and I think that is one of our greatest strengths, is that we have women who know exactly what our clients are going through.
Working with Operation Restoration has been the first time that I've actually been able to express that I've been formerly incarcerated. It helps what I do. It changes everything about what I do to be able to tell a client or a student that I'm formerly incarcerated, because it makes them feel much more comfortable.
Watching her over time make decisions to staff her organization with Black women, with women who are formerly incarcerated, with women who have experiences. I've watched her show up for those women time and time again. One of the things about Sarita that I respect the most is her integrity. In many of the conversations that we're having about reform in Louisiana, often the people who are missing from those rooms where decisions are made are people who are most impacted by the system that we're trying to reform. And one of the things I love about Sarita and the way that she does her work is that she is always bringing those voices into the room with her, and she does it with a lot of power. Every time someone is released, being able to meet them there and see the worry leave their face, it's just the best ever for me.
With Sarita and her belief in me always made me believe in myself. That's what's so special about her with clients, is that she makes them believe themselves. So I think that's what's very important about what she brings to the clients.
Operation Restoration has grown exponentially in just a few years and continues to be present and give whatever is needed to those women and girls who have been incarcerated. Thank you, Sarita, for your incredible work. Johnny Robinson of Monroe, widely known for his work on the field as a Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs, and Billy Cannon's wingman on the 1958 LSU National Championship team. But quietly and more importantly, he's made a significant difference in the lives of hundreds of young men through the Johnny Robinson's Boys Home, which provides residential care, counseling, and mentoring for young men who have interacted with the juvenile justice system.
My name is Matt Robinson. I'm the administrator of Johnny Robinson's Boys Home, and my father is the founder. Johnny Robinson's Boys Home is a residential facility for juveniles, young men that have been in trouble in the juvenile justice system. They're all male and ages from 12 to 18 years old. Well, my dad became aware of a child that was being abused in the state juvenile prison. That's where it all started. He called the judge and asked the judge if he could take him and care for him. Dad started the program without any grants or funding. It was all out of his pocket, and That's what impresses me the most. He felt a need to help children after football.
Over the middle, it's intercepted. Johnny Robinson gets his 8th interception. Runs for the 20.
Johnny went on to play for the Kansas City Chiefs against my husband in Super Bowl #1, and he and Johnny have remained friends over all the years. Football is what put him on the map to do other things, but it was secondary to what their true calling was. My husband and Johnny both are old school. It's not about the money, it's about helping others. Johnny started this boys' home in Monroe, giving boys second chances. We all in life need a second chance.
About 12, 13 years ago, my dad had a stroke, and it's affected his speech. So he would have loved to have been here to talk, but he feels like he's not able to speak as well as he would like to, because he was a great speaker. Dad has been here every day for the last 35 years. Still talks with the kids, and he introduces himself when he comes in for intake. He makes them feel comfortable.
When they come in here, most of them are scared. They don't know how they're going to fit in. That's a normal reaction. And then soon they acclimate, they make friends, and they live a normal life here, as normal as possibly can be. They catch the city school bus right out here. They go to public school. They come in. We have tutors that help them.
They can get into a program that is community-based, that'll help them tremendously with their behavior, respect level, ways of thinking, that keeps them out of trouble without hopefully coming back into the system.
It wasn't a home in the sense of a boys' home. It was a home with a family. We were all a family, and he was Dad. Dad, during that time, became everything to me. He held us accountable for when we did wrong, and he praised us when we did right. And I hope that every kid that has gone through Johnny Robinson's boys' home, I hope they know him as Dad and the genuine, wholehearted man that he is.
The Johnny Robinson Boys Home has been a godsend for so many boys. Some of them grew up without a father figure, without a mother figure, without any kind of parental guidance, and they needed some mentoring. Johnny's Boys Home takes them in, they feed them, they educate them, they work, they give them a second chance to get back and have a good life. It's just been such a blessing to so many people to give back and to help others, and that's what Johnny's all about. We need more Johnny Robinsons in this world.
He's a humble man, and he's a prayer warrior, and he has helped many, many kids over the course of the last 35 years. I'm so proud of him. Dad is really honored to receive the Angel Award, and he's had a lot of honors, and I think it's been special to him, because it has to do with the community service and his life's work after football.
The heart of my dad, heart of Johnny Robinson, is this place. The pinnacle of his professional career, football, was the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but it's not the pinnacle of his life. The pinnacle of his life is this boys' home.
I would like to be remembered with what I did with kids, rather than my football career. And my boys' home will go on. Even if it's a long time coming, it means everything to me right now, because I think it's a pinnacle of my success story.
Sports history has already recorded the great work of Johnny as a player. He was recently inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But the futures of those young men and the families they have returned to are his real legacy. Thank you, Johnny. Although they're not related, here's another man with the last name Robinson, working as a father figure. Lavar Robinson of Baton Rouge grew up without a father, and when he had his own kids, knew he needed support to be a great dad to them. He is the founder of Fathers on a Mission, a network of fathers who support each other and young people without father figures.
My name is Lavar Robinson. I am the founder of Fathers on a Mission. Fathers on a Mission is a fatherhood support organization. We support fathers, father figures, provide different resources. We also do youth mentorship programs in schools. What inspired me to start Fathers on a Mission is my own life. Growing up in poverty, growing up without a father, growing up without the necessary tools to be successful in life. So as I learned these things, I figured this is something that should be shared. This is something that a lot of kids could use to be successful in life. I'm a father of 6, and finding resources was difficult. Some of the skills that I feel that I didn't learn as a child that I needed to share with kids are conflict resolution, job skills, life skills, just ordinary conversation with people, conversation without getting upset, conversation about positive things, that it's okay to smile. As I was growing up as a kid, it's oftentimes that, there may be a discussion between me and a peer, and usually it would end up into a confrontation. If I had knew about conflict resolution in my younger days, there are times where those situations could have turned out positive instead of negative.
One of the voids in our community is what a role model looks like for a father. And so that's what Fathers on a Mission is all about. They're about creating that role model, that positive role model in a young person's life so that they know what a father looks like, how they're supposed to act, what they're supposed to be like. They do that. They do it well.
This is a support system. It's not one of these things to where he's standing up telling them how to be good dads. What he's doing is he's using the synergy of the room. This dad will say, I had this problem. Another dad said, I did too. And this is how I handled it. So there's a synergy that he builds. And so by doing that, he's creating these amazing dads because they're creating themselves together.
Getting men to talk is already a difficult thing to do. Once they feel comfortable, they see how the conversation's going, they see how relaxed it is, and a lot of men open up and start to share the things that they're going through, and we discover things that they need in their walks of fatherhood. I've seen fathers come in and learn about childhood trauma, and in turn, they take that and develop patience for their kids, and develop a sense of humility, and then they're able to have conversation with their kids. It makes a huge difference in their families and children's futures.
No one else operates in this space, totally devoted to improving the lives of children by improving the lives and knowledge and understanding of fathers. To be there, to be engaged, to do the right thing around their children. But even more than that, he gives them job information. He has job fairs. He brings suits to the meeting so that the men that come will have the right clothes to wear to job interviews.
One thing I like to do is encourage fathers to go to the schools, get to know the school teacher, do pop-ups on the kids, get involved with homework. I encourage fathers, when you come home from work or when you're at home in the evenings and a child has said, I've done my homework, tell them, show me your homework, let me see what you have done. Just being involved more than just being there.
When kids come in contact with Mr. Robinson, they improve their overall performance at school as well as their behavior. When students are attached to someone they feel is a role model, they want to do better for that person. They tend to be mindful of their behavior. They tend to work harder with their academics, as well as want to be able to spend more time with that person because they admire that person as a mentor.
When we go into the schools, we talk to the kids about one thing, self-respect, respecting yourself. A lot of kids don't understand that it all starts with self. So showing the kids that you are somebody, you are great. A lot of our kids don't realize that they are great. So when we have those conversations with them, we give them models and examples of what they should do and should not do. In the end, all the things that we show the kids create better relationships between them and their families.
I think some of the things that have students and families open to Lavar is just his personality. He's really down to earth, and he able to relate to the students.
Over the past 4 years, I've seen Lavar grow as an individual as well as a father because I know him personally. So I've seen Lavar not only mentor and coach and train other fathers on how to do a great job, but I've seen him in action also doing a great job as a father. And I think what makes Lavar want to continuously come back and do this work is because he wants to be the best father he can be. And he wants to share those best practices and experiences with other fathers so that they too can be the best fathers.
As I learned to be a better father, I want to share that with other people. So providing a place for fathers to come and have those conversations, regardless if it's one person or 500, making a difference in one can change many.
Lavar is known as an incredibly hardworking man who keeps his commitment to each of the thousands of children he has mentored. We are so proud to honor his important work. Our final honoree tonight, Lucinda Miles of Shreveport, has done pioneering work to meet the needs of children in the foster care system who've experienced abuse and neglect. She works to meet them with compassion, love, and trauma-informed understanding to begin their process of healing.
So how many of you are familiar with TBR? My name is Lucinda Miles, and I am the Crisis Program Coordinator for Volunteers for Youth Justice. Volunteers for Youth Justice is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide a community for our children and our youth and our families that are in crisis.
We run 10 programs under 3 different categories: youth programs, which is our diversion classes; court programs, which is our fins and truancy; and then our CASA program, TBR program, and that's dealing with children in the foster care system. Each year we serve about 700 children in the foster care system who've been removed from their home of origin due to abuse or neglect. People outside the foster care system often think that these children have bad behavioral problems and they have a negative perception of them. Most oftentimes, these kids are just responding to the trauma that they've endured.
When we think about a child that is misbehaving, and you think this child is just off the charts, and yet that child may just need you to stop and listen to them. They may just need a glass of water because they haven't been hydrated in 6 hours. They could be hungry because they missed breakfast. So to look beyond the fact that this child is just acting what we call bad, or what we perceive as bad, that child has a need.
TBRI is trust-based relational intervention, and it is a process that we teach to caregivers that allows them to better understand how to better parent the child, so we're not addressing the bad behavior, but what's behind that behavior.
Lucinda is one of the most passionate yet relentless people I know. In 2018, Lucinda came back from TBRI practitioner training, and she was on fire. She was so excited. She came into my office and wanted to start a new program. I was like, absolutely not. We already run 9 programs. There's no way we can start a 10th. Lucinda would not take no for an answer. She was so persistent that she went out on her own and found the money to fund the comic studio and all the equipment. She wrote a curriculum to train advocates to pair with these children. By the end of the year, she had trained 40 advocates.
Returning from that training, it changed everything. Able to understand much more clearly how our children and families are impacted through trauma, and it was the game changer when we came back, and it was just an exciting moment to see how that was going to be able to be implemented, not only in Volunteers for Youth Justice, but in our community and in the Caddo Juvenile Court.
Children come to our courtroom out of difficulty. The experiences that they've gone through are traumatic. Our courtroom needs to be a place that they know where they're going to be protected. We did not really expect to be able to pull through creating this transformational calming studio that she created, having a holistic approach, an emotional support puppy. She trains the foster parents, the biological parents, the grandparents, the teachers, the doctors, the counselors in these trauma-informed practices. And she's transformed this community's ability to care for and interact and help the children who come into this process. It's significant.
We don't want the child to be in that courtroom. They've already suffered enough. And so the judge will give them a golden ticket to go to the calming studio where Lucinda is with Sasha, her care dog. And Lucinda helps the children who otherwise would be in a scary, cold courtroom, hearing things repeated that have caused them great trauma. Now they're in a room with wonderful sensory games and light and things they can touch and feel. It is a bright spot in their day in what otherwise would have been a very traumatic situation.
I see the calming studio as an instrument of hope, a place where a child can experience a moment, if maybe not an hour, 30 minutes, they can experience a place where there's calm, there's happy, there's peacefulness, that they can take away a piece of that with them. So when they go back into whatever scenario in which they might be, they can remember that in that beautiful place, and they will be able to understand what calm can feel like. Because we know unless we can feel that trauma, when someone says, you need to just calm down. If you've never felt calm, you don't know how to even get to that place.
Lucinda has become my Louisiana mom because my family's not here. She is down to earth. She has more care for these kids than anyone that I know. She will work night and day with a foster parent just to help them better understand who the child is behind the negative behavior.
Lucinda is part of an essential movement of trauma-informed care for young people. Other parishes and states are learning from and implementing the Calming Studio model in their own juvenile systems. It's been my great pleasure to be with you tonight to celebrate these outstanding individuals who truly represent the best of everyday Louisianians working for good. As I say goodnight to you, I'm handing it over to Michael Tipton, the president of our foundation, to say a few final remarks.
Thanks, Dan. We appreciate you being an excellent host this evening. I want to give our sincerest thanks to Louisiana Public Broadcasting for agreeing to co-present this event with us tonight. I'm grateful to the board and my colleagues at the Blue Cross Foundation, as well as the community relations and strategic communications teams for helping to put together this program in a very short amount of time. And finally, thanks to each of you watching at home and celebrating alongside our angels. It means so much to us and to them to have your support. Congratulations again to all of our angels, and thank you for your commitment to Louisiana's children.